Yeah, we may start, and again we return to our seminar, which we had on 30th April, the meeting, Information Against Evil, the Ukrainian War Context, but we made already some remarks, two remarks actually, and now I want one more remark, and this might be titled like you see here, Information Against Evil, the same as before, how information and AI might impact Ukraine's war outcome. Yes, but this is titled what we have in background of all what we are doing here, speaking about. This is somewhat this background title, but we may speak about one aspect which we touched already in before, how to organize our contact with AI. And the very first thing is to organize. I'm doing this to perform, to do discussions with different LLMs about events in Ukraine, in this Ukraine war context, to speak about these things with LLMs, different models. Yeah, I already said I have documented about 30 conversations with different LLMs. But now what to do with this? And the main stress I tried to put in previous remark, I said that these texts are not for humans because they are too long, because they are not so well organized as it would be required for scientific environment, and not so accurate is all they are done. This is some very yes, accurateness here is not it is not that is required for scientific meetings, even for meetings, for conferences. This materials is so too raw, and what to do with them. But they are good for LLMs, for machines. Machines and LLMs don't need so accurate texts what concerns their precise. They are not interested in punctuational texts, not on correct grammatically, whether they are correct or with errors. They ignore which languages I may try. I have tried already. No, mostly I am using Latvian, English, Russia, Ukraine. I had tried to use Spain, French, and I don't even remember now. I had in my mind to try in Czech language. I could try Italian language. So all languages that I had during my life tried to learn, and I made something doing these languages. And now you see, when we are in contact with LLMs, with AI, we may use these languages in some mission. Yes, German language. I forgot it is one of my main languages, German language, and we may do mission all these languages, texts, and without correct, grammatically correct, some heaps of papers that we may so figuratively say I take from manuscripts from waste bin, put on my table and give for AI to read, and I don't want does not some particularly the LLM doesn't bother about this where from I took these manuscripts from waste bin or from my my scientific table where I'm working. So these conditions, how we can work in contact with AI are quite different with these which we are used to do in scientific environment, in some scientific auditories and scientific meetings and in scientific classrooms and whatever else. This required for us some attitude, established norms, how we were trained to use this environment. We scientists know how we are working, and we know what we can do there, what we can't do there. And but now when we are in touching contact with AI, these many things tend to be a little or to some extent they may be pushed away. The machines don't need accurateness which we are used to. People, they are interested in information. Yes, this was the precise notion which should be mentioned in this context. They need information. They don't bother if this information is taken from waste bin or from Schrank, my Tisch, my Wissenschaftler's Tisch. They might be taken where from quite. It doesn't matter from where this information is taken, because information is information. Yes, we in previous text were speaking about information. Information might be considered from two parts: carrier of information and content of information. And real information is this content. Carrier doesn't matter. And and when we speak about these ethical categories, when we have scientific meetings and scientific whatever else, when we are in scientific community working in whatever context and in everyday situations, these might be very many such situations, and how we are ethically to behave. We should be polite, and we can't be crude, and we should behave as scientists and whatever. But see, in the environment we are meeting with LLMs, they don't need, at least at this moment. We may, at sometimes, maybe we should come to that robots are meeting with us, and then we should return to these ethical categories and how we are behaving between us as humans, and robots may learn from us how to behave as humans, and we would live all and together and meet in the classrooms and auditories and in university rooms and scientific meetings, conference rooms, and all should return to old as it was before. But now for a while we are as if between this, because machines are at this moment, machines are have remained being machines. They don't bother this carrier of information, how we are from information were talking, as I told, from waste bin or from Tisch, Wissenschaftler's Tisch. Yeah, and so it is, yeah. And now we come in contact with this situation where these facts aspects are crucial, that only information LLMs and all it was in this context I was speaking, in which form we should be text provided for LLMs. And look, if someone looks on these conversations, my articles, these 30 articles, they are just under these conditions that are very good for machines, but they are very bad for humans. And if I were to bring these my 30 articles and ask, please give my scientific doctoral degree or academic degree or what else degree I could ask, they would say, no, go away. These papers doesn't correspond to requirements in scientific journals and scientific whatever media. They are very bad, not correctly performed, not formed, not can't be framed in scientific requirements. So many faults there can be found, and so yeah. No, yeah, I think all who are listening, this my already understands about what I'm in mind and what I'm pushing forward, which ideas. Yes, but this is just about my these conversation speaking and my these articles, how I have for performs them in different languages, in the kishmish of languages, and there are Latvian, Ukrainian, English, and German, and so this is all okay. Machines are reading and enjoying, they are reading facts. Of course, they have someone they are complaining that, oh, it would be better to give them text in English. It would be easier for them analyze, but not mixed with Latvian and with other Ukrainian language. But I don't much turn attention to their these arguments. I simply take that language which I find most appropriate for the moment. If I want to speak Latvian, I speak Latvian. If I want to speak English, I speak English, and choose whatever language. Latvians, in some situations, is more convenient because I may express myself more easily in Latvian than in English. And the same for other languages. And so in some critical moments, I use Latvian without this to, to, to get away with all these problems to how to find expressions and ways and my language sometimes tend to be too poor to express all things. So in sometimes it is more easy for me to use Latvian, and I'm doing this. And machines may translate, and I even talked about, 2 days about, I spoke with Gemini, and we were talking just this, that I am using different languages. Not. I told about that I'm using Latvian language. And of course, these LLMs would best of all to hear and use English, because they are mostly trained with English language. But I said, but I am trying, I have so many Latvian texts written and spoken with machines that if they took only one person, one dinosaur, I saw many times have performed conversations with LLMs, so I have taught already some machines to speak Latvian, because after they had read my about 1,000 pages in Latvian, someone would ask, they are not sufficiently only trained to Latvian language to say that they already know to some level. Of course, they are trained to some level after reading 1,000 pages in Latvian. And so I'm training this, and after I had this conversation with Jiminy, he said, yes, very good, you have trained us, you have given some how to say, a contribution, you have given some contribution in training us to be more convenient in Latvian, but you of course are not the only person. There are many other persons, so you are all doing very good training for these machines. You are training to speak these not just English. They are trained already at the very beginnings, when they are created as LLMs. But these not so popular languages maybe taught them too, and they are happy to use, and they in everyday conversations in different countries, they learn these languages, Yeah, and they live in this, but this is informational space. Yeah, we may again return to this aspect. This informational space, languages, texts in different languages, all this is about the information. We are speaking about information. They don't bother about carriers, how they are. These texts are carried to hearers and to analyzers, and yeah. So I think that I have said sufficiently, and now it remains only to some crucial points. Well, if we understand that it doesn't matter for machines in which form we bring these texts, how they are performed, then these keeps taken from whatever else carrier, from waste bins or from whatever else, and bring to them and they analyze. And so I have I took my waste bin, so let us call symbolically my 30 articles. I take my waste bin of my non-accurate articles. I bring them to AI machines and say, please read and compose article. Yes, and they took article, and these articles is so perfectly performed. They are they have this form, just this what are not in my articles. I did with very little accurateness and very crude way, and in very hurry, under some hurrying, I was pushing forward my information, not bothering about how accurate these things, but the machines do return me. They may do, not always they are doing, but if I require, they may return text as if it should be given for academic purposes, for journals, for conferences. Even I may ask to prepare me PhD thesis. I would like to come to my institution and ask, oh, please give me doctoral degree. They asked, give us PhD thesis. And now I take from my portfolio, I take out this just by GPT or Gemini or someone else LLM tool. And I give, please, here is my PhD that just prepared by by this and this LLM, but they would object me. They would say, this is not your text. This is text prepared by LLM from machine. But I don't. But I would say, don't talk nonsense. I was prompter. I was prompting and giving all information LLMs, and LLMs only took information from what I told them, what I prompted them, what I asked for them to do, and they only prepared in some accurate way. And yeah, I don't know what they would be. Say after that. I don't know. I have not yet tried to ask the PhD doctoral degree from them. So I don't know which should be the answer in this case. But yeah, and so I have prepared, this is just such document. This is just a document where none of words is composed by me. All it is composed by machine, by different machines. Here I have used 4 LLMs. Here you would see Perplexity, Grok, ChatGPT, and Gemini. I have tried to take some others. I asked some list of LLMs from some tool, and they gave me 10 or 15, I think that 15 LLMs. I tried to them, but it is not so easy to. So I only remained at these 4: Perplexity, Grok, GPT, Gemini. I tried DeepSeek, our Chinese machine, but Chinese machine didn't return me what I wanted to get. They always returned me this, you are violating our terms, and this will because of that fact that in my texts were this Russia delenda, and they told, oh, this is bad, and you can't use this expression. This expression alone is violating our terms of our community. So please take out, and I wanted to persuade. I even had a conversation with DP Seek how to get over this obstacle, how to find some way, because I try to try to persuade them how I am understanding these words, Russia delenda, and they said, yes, we understand these words, and this understanding which you put in these words, this is not violating our terms. But if I after this conversation, I give them these words, Russia delenda, they return me the same objection. You are violating our terms. No, yeah, yeah. But I had this discussion and how to give, how to go, how to go away from this situation. But they said you should say in other words. You should said this. Russia delenda is in some other words. They were talking that I should correct this expression. Yeah, this is ridiculous, of course, the situation, but what, no, yeah, no, we understand how this, from where all this arises, and so, yeah, what we can't do, we can't do, yeah, so we are in the situations which we have, and we must be happy. Yeah, and now, but I am to say some main points because I am too many talking around and around, but the main points I should take. Yeah, what we have, we start with this, that I have conversations. After these conversations, I ask the machines to read these conversations and give their response. But this response which I require for them might be different. I may simply ask, I am saying, I say them, exempli gratia, give some account of this, all what you have just read. And they are giving their account, some report, informal report on so in some form. But after that, I may call. But now return this report, turning in turning this interest to some points I may take. Please, which relates to politics and strategy of USA, or from China point of view, or from Europe's point of view, and they may quickly, yeah, they give their reports, and so I may collect these reports, different reports which I received just, and now I may take them from different machines, and afterwards I may use this way which I already have shown before, asked to give 10 arguments for one question, 10 arguments for other question, and this all gather in some portfolio. And now, after I have gathered all this, I may ask, please give me a prepared article from this all. And they may prepare article. I may some requirements put on this, how this article should be performed. And yeah, But now this next step is, now I want to speak about this, because when I am doing all this work, I am, all these steps are doing manually. Manually, what does it mean, manual? I require first, I require conversations, then I require to give accounts of these. I turn to different machines. I require them different other accounts, other reports, and so, and then I collect together, and then I do some more actions and more actions and more actions. But now I make us. We are programmers. We are computer scientists. I am too particularly computer scientist. I know how to build programs using, mostly I use Wolfram Mathematica, but may use Python too, and some. And now, uh, now I ask, why to use this manual way? I simply may write down these requirements of some these actions which I performed with my texts and with my LLMs. I may just put as instructions, commands, and I am now building a computer programs. And I now one operation in my program is perform conversations with 10 machines, perform require accounts, build some analysis, require that, afterwards do that, afterwards compose from that, and I made as an algorithm. I prepare some algorithm program routine, and now I only put, I leave some parameters, and these parameters might be, say, these machines. For example, in this case, I use only Perplexity, Grok, ChatGPT, and Gemini, but I made put other machines. Copilot, and I don't, they say Bing and whatever, many these machines. And yeah, I give this, put these parameters. There could be other parameters. There might be parameter how much arguments you would like to ask. 10 arguments. Maybe I would like to 15 or even 20 arguments as a parameter put in my program. And now I require. Yeah, but there one question. If I'm going to ask for ChatGPT to perform for 10 machines, he would not do me for that, because he has this question of who would pay for this? Who would pay for this? And this payment questions, if I am choosing, now I am paying $20 monthly for ChatGPT. But if I use some API technologies with programming, there I can simply put some money. I take from my pairs, say, $100 or $200 or $300 I pay, and say I ask, may I, using this money, perform this program with this amount of actions and complexity, and they may say yes or not, or they may say that they don't know, that I must try myself, and yeah. So I am building my communication with machines, and we are solving our problem which we have put before us. Yeah, I think that I even said sufficiently many. If I have something forgotten, yes. Yes, this question was about this to organize. The main point is we may build this algorithm either manually when I perform each step with, say, 10 or 5 machines and different different requirements, building this my prompt step by step. Yeah, I build this step by step my prompt manually, but I made this prompt give as a programmed algorithmic algorithmically put on paper and in this information command lines and were required and I go forward with my problem solving. So, well, I don't know what aspects I have forgotten. I'm maybe some not very speaking very so I am speaking as a speaker machine, as some bubbler machine. Well, then I must say goodbye, and we may stop our goodbye.